Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil
Yep.
for Charlie Kirk and you support his death?
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Freedom.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all favor.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself.
Again, these are the type of people that we're dealing with. And I want you to think about this, because this is a clear example of someone who's been radicalized by the left's rhetoric, who is constantly saying that people on the right are Nazis. The left, Democrats, consistently. Elon's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, Charlie Kirk is a Nazi. They trivialize what it actually meant and what it means to be a Nazi. And they smear their political enemies. They demonize them. They don't just disagree with their political enemies. They make them out to be evil people. They tell people they're Nazis, they're Hitler, they're racist, they're bigots, they want to commit genocide. They tell their people this. And when their people just smear lies, they don't check them. And the same people that want to come out and say violence isn't acceptable are the same ones that have been allowing these people to get radicalized by calling Trump, Elon, and people on the right Nazis, and not condemning their own side when their own side is calling people Nazis when they're nothing close to a Nazi at all. The Nazis slaughtered 6 million people in cold blood simply because of their bloodline or their race, however you want to put it. They wanted to remove an entire race of people. That is nothing like anything on the right today. But there are people that believe these people on the right are Nazis. That is because the left's rhetoric is inaccurate and dangerous. It emotionally manipulates people into thinking their political enemies are Hitler. It's absolutely disgusting. This is a prime example of that.
Big ups to Jeffrey May each and every time to his video. Look, like, I don't know, and I look, big man thing. Let's keep it 100, fam. Like I said, man, I'm a busy guy, so I don't get into these type of things. You know, the ones there. I don't feed onto these negativity. But one thing I will say is that if you're standing on truth, right, in terms of how things are meant to be, I think I said this before about, for example, right, nobody, and this is just one example, right, nobody has to tell you to your face that there are 2 genders and 2 sexes of the human beings. No one has to tell you that. You can just walk all over the earth, human beings, for example, and then all you see here is male and female. And obviously, if you want to push it up to another notch, it's even here in the Bible, blood. It's even in the first chapter. It tells you right then and there. Now, if I was to tell you someone, like, sad to say, and like I said, man, I don't get into these political arguments. I'm not, as I said, I don't, that's not my thing. But are you trying to say that if I was to tell someone human truths, I can tell you about the Lord because that goes way deeper. But if I were to tell you about human truths, about simple as that, and then you call my man, he's a Nazi. Wow. I'm staggered. And then they do that just because that they are the opposite of their views. In their lives. And I'll just say this, right? The way things are turning on the earth is no surprise. It's no surprise. There's no surprise. The thing about it is that if the Lord here ain't leading your life, this is what happens. You end up feeding to your own views, emotions, feelings, and this is what you get. Division of, this is Division after division after division after division, and it gets nowhere. And it's sad. It's sad that the minority is basically getting battered here by the majority. And then they say that, oh yeah, they support the shooting they support what happened here to Kirk. And this is the world that we're living in. Fam, it tells you everything you need to know what goes on in here, blood. It's so sad. It's literally just so sad. It's so sad, man. May the Lord have mercy, like that.
It's the most insane one.
It's not okay. It is not okay to target me because I felt joy that day. I can't help how I feel.
This
Buy
guy.
security away from me for a thought, for an opinion, and you talk about freedom of speech like you care about it, and you're just gonna take my money, my life, my food off my plate because I don't like Charlie Kirk. That's not okay. I felt joy. That's me. That's what I believe. So I don't deserve a job?
This is just great to see. It's just unbelievable. I love how he's like acting like a victim because he got fired because of something he said. But he laughed at Charlie getting killed for something he said. These people don't think straight. What is wrong with them? And this guy worked for Microsoft. And there's so many teachers and people in high up positions that are getting exposed, and it's lovely. It's great. These people are dangerous. R.I.P. Bozo. I think you need a haircut as well.
I was just fired from my job! I was just fired from my job! I was just fired from my fucking job! I was just fired from my fucking job! Now I have nothing but this! I have nothing but...
I mean, just look how mentally well these people are. Look at them. They're not crazy at all.
I have nothing anymore! I have nothing anymore! Ah! 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 No! Fuck!
I just don't know what to say. This is too common. Like, do you ever see someone on the right acting like this, looking like that? Why do they all look like that? What species is this type of thing? What is this thing in society right now? What is it? This isn't a human. That is crazy. This guy got fired for mocking Charlie's death. Obviously, loads of people are going out there trying to find the people who are doing this and getting them fired. And it's working. A lot of people are getting fired. Liberals are scary. They're not physically scary. They have zero testosterone. But this guy, like, he's gonna snap. This is why I'm not surprised that this guy did what he did to Charlie Kirk. Look at them. Look how they act. Just because they don't agree with people's opinion. The right side is good or bad. It's not good to celebrate for someone to die over an opinion. People need to protect freedom of speech. Big up the Transformers. Cinnabon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did hear about this, that people are actually losing their jobs over the content that they put up of celebrating Kirk's death. And also these content that got backlashes, and then obviously they removed their account, they removed the video. I saw one woman, she took down that video, but I think the last 2 or 3 videos that she put up, she turned off the comments, like that. And I'm like, what do you expect? So what do you expect? That no, they thought that they can get away with it. They thought they can get away with it. That's why I don't think these people are. And look, and then not even that, man. I've realized this as well. They all look the same. Some of these man here have like, they're not. These man, they're so feminine. They're not masculine, like me or you, man. They're like, they scream not that you scream and sound and then you're feminine, but look at that stream though. And then what I would say is this, right? What do you expect here when you put content like that, right? So what do you expect that nobody, you're just going, everybody's just going to be wishy-washy of you, and then nobody said they're just going to just be happy with you to put content out there like that? Nah, blood. That's the thing, like, the world doesn't revolve around you and your views. This is what we're trying to say. Blood, like, look, like, we're trying to, this is what we're trying to tell, man. Like, not me, but people like Charlie Kirk, man, who, you know, who prayed, allowed the Lord, man, to lead him and to have that confidence and the bravery of the Lord just to go and do what he did. What did you expect? To celebrate someone's death and they put it up, and then, like what we saw before, people are dancing and they're saying that, yeah, man, like I agree with it. And then these men are trying to tell you simple truths. We're trying to tell you something that is so blatantly, so blatantly. We're telling you that the road that we driving in our country is a certain color, or that the sky is always blue, the cloud is always white, but then some waste man come out and say, no, the sky isn't blue, the sky is green or red or purple. Who told you that? And then it's so bad because, and not even that, not that I feel sorry, but like, we have children out there, and the reason why I'm like this is because of you got the school systems, and then even some of the people there even agree. Teachers coming out and saying, like, someone like I remember one of the videos, Kirk will ask, "What is a woman?" And then they end up coming up with some was. And do you know what? You guys, you're doing that. I tell you what. You guys here are actually, let me think about a word. You are definitely making females ashamed, if that's the way to put it. Oh my word. I don't know if I'm deviating off from this, but I'm just like, it's gone beyond the, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, blood. I don't know, fam. I just don't know, blood. I don't know. Sorry, yeah, if I am conveyed what I said about the shame part differently, but what I'm trying to say is that females who are born as females, and then they go and see some batty boy who said, you know, who was born as a man, and then said that I'm a female. These females here who are born here as females, they're gonna be fuming at that. Fuming. They're gonna be fuming with that. They're gonna be fuming. You can't do that. You can't do that. Number two, if Charlie Kirk is telling you this and you don't like it, and then number two, he gets nobody should get to get assassinated like the way he did in front of the world, in front of 3,000 students, and then you end up celebrating, putting a content out there, and they expect to get away with it. No, do you know what? even though you're as human beings, you know, that's the thing. I'm not the Lord, right? I'm a sinner, fam. I can do something that is probably is worse, or you know what I mean? So I'm no better than them. But simple truths. You're telling man. Oh, anyway, look. I don't know, man. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. I would say this, man, on behalf here of, you know, Lord Jesus, oh Lord. Let me do this here on behalf here of the human race here, as people who are speaking humanly speaking, right? You deserve that, because that will teach you a lesson. That will teach you a lesson, fam. And people think that because Kirk is gone, now nobody yet don't have the freedom to speak. No. You have just fired up bare man all over the world, man, to stand firm and to continue the legacy of Kirk. To continue the legacy of him. His voice it may not be around anymore. His videos may be. Like my man, Kevin Samuels. But let me say this, man. His message will still live on. Family. And let me just say this as well, because I've been thinking about this, right, as I'm watching these clips. Like I said, yeah, about you think that Kirk is gone, you think that because Kirk is gone, that's it. Nah, let me add on to what I said before. Someone will be raised up from the Lord. You know, the Lord who works in mysterious ways. You know, and Jehovah God, and I will say that because he's a God that's hidden. He's a God that makes things happen, but he's also mysterious, fam. And let me say this: if my man is gone, the Lord will raise up another young person who may not be like Kirk in terms of, but he will have a similar spirit, a similar one. And you may think that I'm chatting was. Nah, fam. If you look at the Bible very, very carefully throughout here from the old to the new, the Lord has always raised young people. When one person is eventually passed on to be with the Lord, another person will be raised up. And you have seen it time and time and time again. When the enemy has grabbed hold of something and has dragged it down, the Lord will always raise up another young person. And I believe that it's gonna happen, fam. So that's what I mean, man, that just because Kirk is gone doesn't mean that his message is gone. His message will live on. And that's what I rate here. I mean, I'm not just rating just about what he said in the open debates, but I'm also saying this here because of what he said about the Lord, about because he was a believer, and that's what I'm getting to as well.
Right, and I will say this actually: those people who posted on TikTok, open TikToks calling for me to be killed yesterday, let's see if the police go and arrest them. Yes. Shall we? Because if they don't, we truly are living in two-tier Britain. Yes. All right? So I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, like I said before, fam, listening to the Nigel Farage video right there, I'm not going to get into too much, like I said, because I don't know what's going on. There are, like I said before, things are changing out there. You know, like I said, it's very, very subtle. It changes, and then, like, for example, I'll say this, right? Like, if you were stuck in the let me say that. If you were stuck in 1985 and time traveled to 2025, you can see a drastic difference of the way the world has changed over the last like almost 40 years. Let me put it around 40 years, 40, 50 years. Let's not count 1985. Let's count it, the ones there. The world has changed. And about this two-tier policing stuff, I have heard a little bit about it, because I'm thinking it got to do with the double standards. I think that's what it is. And look, like, he said that there are some videos out there that's also calling him to be gone as well. Wow. Fam, I don't know what to say. All I can say is that Nigel Farage, fam, like, may the Lord be with you, fam, because you need as much. I mean, this goes here for everybody who stand here on the Lord and stand on simple truth. Stand on common sense. What a world we live in, man. Oh, my family.
Now, if y'all are not familiar with this face right here, I want you to become real acquainted. Right there. That mug. Right there. Y'all are likely going to see this mug in a literal mugshot at some point. Now, this is the dude who was caught up essentially celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, of course, you see all these whacked out liberals doing the exact same thing. But the difference is this young man actually had the opportunity of debating Charlie at Oxford University, where he is a student. Not only is he a student, but he has been elected as a class president. Yeah. So he looked this man, Charlie, in his eyes, had what looked to be a good faith debate. And not long after, that man has his life taken in broad daylight. And what does old Georgie do? He celebrates. Now, what has Oxford done about this situation here? Have they handled him accordingly? Well, let's go ahead and check out this email that was sent after some complaints. Thank you for your email. Though I'm not even going to attempt that one. George, comments are abhorrent. They do not contravene the college's policies on free speech or any other relevant policies. Therefore, no disciplinary action will be taken. Oh, best wishes. Valerie Amos. Free speech. This is coming from the very same nation who was putting white men into prison for waving a British flag. The very same nation who is throwing white men and women into prison for tweets, conservative tweets to be specific. Yeah, that same nation all of a sudden believes in free speech, so long as it's wearing a do-rag and it's got some dreads. So I want y'all to take a quick second to look at this message right here. This reads, Charlie Kirk got executed. Let's effing go. Wow. Now, this happens to be a text message sent by none other than this fake Rastafarian looking dude right here. Y'all see this guy? Turns out that he happened to actually have a debate with Charlie Kirk at Oxford University, a place that used to be taken seriously just a couple of decades before the whacked out liberal nonsense. Anyway, old George over here also happens to be the class president. Now, when I first read that message, I was shocked. I couldn't believe that, you know, a guy who looks like this would ever have this sort of mentality. You know, a guy who would stand up in front of his Oxford peers and make the following statement. Sometimes a system is so corrupt that you just have to become violent. Those are words out of this fool's mouth. At Oxford University in front of his own peers, faculty, and staff.
Wow.
That sometimes you have to resort
to blood
to that.
What?
Yeah. This, folks, is the best of them. You know, if you ever thought to yourself, is there a reasonable, wokety woke, liberal, progressive, whatever the hell title they use on that specific moment and day, is there one of them who just, you know, has at least 2 or 3 brain cells that are firing and wiring? Is that a possibility? And to that I say no, it doesn't exist. Those who wake up are no longer liberals. That's how that works. Simple.
Fam, he took the word out of my mouth. You know, I can't explain it any further, man. It's a sad reality and a sad world we live in now. And like I said, man, things have gone so far away from the truth now. It's unbelievable. And like I said before, if you're not led by the Lord, this is what happens. This is what happens. And, you know, it's absolute peak. And then he says that if the system is so corrupt, then you have to. The system is by no means, man, the system, right, is never perfect. But the system is there to keep things in order. That's why we have laws. The laws may not be perfect, but keep things in order. Now, if the law, for example, wasn't there, what do you think is going to happen? People are just going to be lawlessness outwardly. Stealing, killing, and think is normal. Think of anything vile under the sun. That's why you need laws. And he says that you have to take violence if the system is corrupt. And then they wake up with that concept. I'm literally shocked. You know, and big ups to I think his name is called Aquarius. That's his name. Forgive me if I got that wrong. And to get up and then to put up a message saying Charlie Kirk got, you know, let's F go. I tell you what, blood. There is a let me put this back into the Lord, right? Because, like I said before, I tend to, as I said, because of his faith, I tend to believe that he was a believer, like me now. There's a saying out there that says, I'll paraphrase it. Let me check out the verse, actually. Let me just check it out, right? I got it up, right? And it says here, it's in both in Matthew and Luke. And this came to me as I was talking, because I was thinking about Charlie Kirk and, you know, obviously he's a believer, right? And, you know, two verses. I'll just say it says here Matthew 24:9, which says that then they will hand you over to be persecuted and they will kill you. But this part, look, it says that you'll be hated by all nations because of my name. And then there's another one. It's in Luke 21, which says some of you they will put to death and you'll be hated by all because of my name. And he stood by that. That is the reason. I mean, from what I've seen by some of the videos that I've watched before, the reason why Charlie Kirk is able to be the way that he is, freedom of speech, to speak simple truths, is because of his background and his belief and his faith and him as a believer of the Lord. That is the reason. And I'm thinking to myself, saying, yeah, that is it. They got rid of him just because of that. Just because the fact that he stands by those values. He's a believer of the Lord, speaking simple truths. And because that he was so good at what he did, amen to the Lord, it resulted of that. They hate, and then you have some waste man saying, let's go. How twisted can you be? Twisted can you be, fam? Twisted. It's so sad. It's so sad. You know, like, it's so sad, man. So sad the way it is. I'm staggered. But at the same time, I'm not staggered. Like I said before, like, this is bound to happen what's happening now. Because a lot of people go by their feelings, what they think, and everything, and then don't stand there by the foundation of the Lord. This is what happens. And then you see the world changing the way it is. It's a sad reality, man, of the fact that I think it's bound to happen. You know, when there is pros, there always will be cons. When there's a yin, there's a yang. You're gonna see it. You know, people make the internet for a certain reason, but then there are other people that use it, for reasons, man, that are just evil. My days. Now I'm going to end this video with some of the quotes from Kirk's Erica Kirk, obviously Charlie Kirk's wife. I read some of the quotes from the video that she put up, and one thing that came to me was the fact that you can tell that, from what I can actually convey, man, is the fact that Erica Kirk looked like as if that she was the soulmate for Charlie Kirk, them ones there. And it looked like as if there was spiritually yoked blood, like as if that she knew Charlie's heart, like I said before, because Charlie's heart was for the young people. You can just tell that he loved everybody and just wanted to have a debate. And there are some things in life where sometimes you can have a debate, but there are some times where you have to stand strong and be like, no. And I understand that. Them way there. I understand that. And And for Erica to stand there and to literally say the things that she said, especially in tears and also with boldness, was absolutely amazing. And let me just read some of the points that she said. The widow of Charlie Kirk, Erica, began by thanking the law enforcement, but hopefully getting that waste money into in bars. And then from this video, we do not know what's gonna happen, but I heard that Trump said that he deserves the death punishment. The death punishment, them way there. Erica Kirk here also thanks the Turning Point team, because obviously that was Charlie Kirk's business, which Charlie Kirk co-founded as well. And she said that my heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. He loved what he did. I can definitely resonate with mentor. Like I said with my little guy, I'm a mentor to him as well. So I definitely resonate to that. She also continues to thank President Trump. She said, "Mr. President, my husband loved you, and he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you." She also thanks Vice President J.D. Vance, that's how you pronounce his name, and his wife for bringing him home. We saw that casket being brought home, and for a lot of us, including me, it looks surreal. And Charlie Kirk, I just realized that Charlie Kirk here was the reason why President Trump managed to become president for the second time. I think, forgive me if I got that wrong, but that's what I got. Because Charlie Kirk here was one of the reasons. It tells you the impact he had on young people. And freedom of speech as well. She also brought him what would have happened if or actually Charlie Kirk actually had let me put it this way. If he had ever ran for office, if he ever had the chance, she said that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. I can totally agree with that. Families have been broken down because either the mom and dad is not in their children's life. I can 100% blood. It's a long story about that. It's a long story. But I totally agree with him. Because, oh my word. I mean, I can go on and go on here with this topic, but I would say, just to keep this ending kind of short, I 100% agree with that, to revive families, not just in America, but all over the world. And that doesn't just come here from the fact that, fathers and mothers, kids, no. I mean the order of how God made it as well, and in the roles in the family as well, from the husband, the father, the mother, the wife. And then it said here that Charlie loved life, he loved his life and loved America. And then he said that most of all, Charlie loved his children, and he loved me with all of his heart. And he made sure I knew that every day. She goes on to call him a perfect father, and she wept throughout those comments that she brought up. And there are some clips I saw. I think everybody have seen it. The pictures, the videos of him with his children. You can tell, blood, that he was an awesome father, awesome dad, awesome husband. And it looked like as if, like what he had, he wanted everybody to have that. But even, not just what he had, but further beyond, that is so holy as well. Christ-like, like that. She also quoted Bible verses about love. Husband, love your wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. She praises God, and she is incredibly good. I can talk a little bit about this, about love. I would say this, man, that we all need God's love, but it doesn't happen overnight. We need to continue, man, to be soaked here by the Lord, man, to gain His love. Is even in the second, because I was thinking of 2 Corinthians, right? And the thing about it is that I was thinking of 2 Corinthians, but actually it was 1 Corinthians. That mentions like love is kind. Love here doesn't keep a record of evil doers or record of wrongs or record of evil. And then also it says somewhere in the Bible that's like God is love. We need God's love because God's love, nothing can destroy it. But if somebody were to hurt me, just watch how my love turns to hate. See that? But God's love doesn't. Okay. I know we're going on here for too long. But then she also mentions about evildoers responsible. And she said evildoers have no idea yet what they have unleashed. She said that you have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this window that echo around the world like a battle cry. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you have just have unleashed across the entire country and this world. You have no idea. And she said before, they killed Charlie because he preached a message of faith and of God's merciful love. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to leave it the way it is of what she just said. And then she said that the campus tour will continue for years to come. She vows here to keep the campus tour going just days after, obviously, Charlie lost his life. She said that he never gave up. One of his mottos was to never surrender. And I totally agree with that. Never give up, fam. So I want to tell that we will never surrender. The campus tours will continue. There will be even more tours in the years ahead to come. And she said that I will never let his legacy die. And then also she mentioned about, because I mentioned this, I said this in the beginning of the video about the daughters. What does she say to the daughters? What does she say? Because one of them, no, not one of them, because I know the daughter is the oldest. Then she has he and she had a son which was months old. The daughter asked, "Where's daddy?" What's she meant to say? But then she said, "Baby, daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget." And then she finished it by saying this: "I can't wait to see you again one day. God bless you all. And may God bless America." Let me say that again one more time. Just to end the video. God bless you all. And may God bless America. And God bless the entire world.